Hello, everyone. And I know what you might be thinking. Why would I ever be wanting to listen to some guy from the internet with heavy Russian accent who is also really drunk talking about just another day of the year, which is which is called February 13th. And I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. Why would anyone be wanting to listen to that? But I feel like venting tonight for for really no apparent reason. I am personally a very negative person whenever I am not drunk, and currently I am very drunk. I have drank like half a liter of red wine, and I'm feeling I'm feeling confident enough to speak my mind for the whole internet to see and hear and probably make fun of. I've seen countless videos of people making the same type of video as the video that I'm recording right now, which is just talking about real life problems. And since I'm quite drunk right now, let me take another sip, by the way. I decided why why not why not try and start speaking my mind more often? Why not give it a try? And so today I will be doing just that. I I wanna talk about a pretty special date for some people, which is February 14th, which is also known as Valentine's Day. And just so you all know, I am typically that one edgy guy with like edgy profile pictures, edgy profiles, edgy aesthetics. And I mean, I listen to Linkin Park and all that over old edgy stuff. And I don't have that many friends, if any at all, because most people I meet they just run away from me in like a few weeks, sometimes even less than that. And today I've had a really good day. I've ordered myself 3 pizzas. I've bought a bottle of wine. I've bought some ginger to eat pizza with, just because why not? I bought tartar sauce, and I wanted to spend some time with my buddies, with my pals, with my friends, because people usually call everyone who they just talk with occasionally a friend. But but I'm not sure if I can call the people I talk to as friends, because the people I talk to, they barely if ever speak to me, and some of them usually just talk about their absolute disgust with me. And I know this video might be making zero sense because as I said, I am really drunk right now. But I made a promise to myself that I will just post it no matter what I say today. No matter what I say or what I talk about. Unless it's something really, really bad. And so I had a really good day today. I bought 3 pizzas, I bought a bottle of wine, ginger, as I said before. And I wanted to spend some time with my buddies, but I couldn't because no one no one was responding to me. And by buddies, I mean like 3 people. I've been speaking to like 3 people, and for the past few months, and I feel kind of jealous of some of them because none of them actually responded to me at all. And I usually try to play myself as a really positive person, as a person who never struggles, as a person who even if is struggling, I usually brush it off like, oh, it's just another day. Like tomorrow's it's gonna be better. Like I'm certain about it. Like new day, new life, all that type of stuff. But today I was sending just memes to people, and just so you all know, that's usually really not what I do to people. I usually try not to actually just send memes to people because I do sometimes I do sometimes feel like I'm an absolute disgrace for even pretending that I want to send anyone any memes at all. Yet I don't want to stay alone. So I just send some random memes anyway. And today none of them responded with anything, not with like a reaction emoji, not like with anything, not with like haha, not with like lol. And I had a really good day today. I actually completed a few things tonight, today. And suddenly I started realizing like what date is it today and why is everyone so silent today in any group I'm in. And I have like just 2 groups I'm in. So it just kinda struck me like, oh yeah, everyone's got a significant other, everyone's got like a family and stuff. And I don't mean like family in the sense that they have kids and all that stuff. I'm I'm 21 years old, right? But no one was responding to me because they were all pretty much just preoccupied with whoever they deem special. And it kinda just struck me that no one thinks of me as special. No one even responded to me today. It felt so weird that no one like mentioned me in any chats, no one replied to me in any chats. It was so silent today. It was so silent. And then I realized that it's just people being around the ones who they care the most, or people who care the most about them. And I realize that no one cares about me enough to just at least say hi or ask how I'm doing usually, if I'm even doing anything at all. And it felt miserable. I have a really guilty pleasure of mine, and this pleasure is about checking up the history behind the people who are no longer with us, like Etika, like Chester, like R- like Rockwell, like many other people that I can't remind myself of, like Dead from the Mayhem. I love reading stories behind these people. I, because their stories, the way they were thinking, the way they were talking, I could really relate to that. I was really relating to all of them. And sometimes I rewatch their last videos or last interviews, and I found so many similarities with them. And I feel like most of them, if not all of them, have the similar feature of lacking anyone who will actually care about them. And sometimes I feel like internet as a whole is a as a whole is damaging it even more. I think initial purpose of the internet was to unite people, to give access to endless amount of information, to let people from all around the world see each other, speak to each other, chat with each other. But now it feels completely different. It feels like everything has to be about politics in some capacity. And I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate that people are just not listening to each other. That people are just forgetting about each other. And I sometimes listen to Etika, sometimes listen to his last video he ever posted. And I will never forget about this guy because in his last video he talks about how the world would move on without him. How the world is gonna like continue to exist, which is kinda true, but I'm not forgetting about him. I don't feel like anyone should be forgetting about him. And I really do hate the people that are like trying to make money off of him by making some shitty ass edits of his last streams. Because there are people who make like entire channels based on making edits of the people who are either no longer with us or based on just people who just are not in the right space anymore, or who just fallen or something like that. And I can't forget about Etika because I feel like I can relate to him so much. He was hurting himself so much because he thought he needed to. And I can really resonate with that. I can really, really relate to that. I really, I really do listen to his last videos sometimes. At least once a month or at least once a few weeks. And how does any of it tie down to 30th of February at all? It probably doesn't, but I think the only reason it does is because I feel like people, because of the internet, they became a lot more lonely than they were supposed to be. As I said, I believe internet was initially supposed to unite people, to let us understand each other better, not from stereotypes or like stand-up shows or from any other stereotypical comedic representations, but through either real communication, through either videos or audios, texts, social media. But it all became about money. It all became about profits. Just look at how much Google is making. Look at how much all of the biggest IT companies make. Look how much Microsoft is making, although they did admit that Windows 11 was mostly written by AI. Even today, they earn so much money just because they collect so much data about everyone. I use Linux most of the time. Arch Linux, by the way. You know, if you know, you know. And I believe the companies, most of the IT companies, one way or another, they are profiting off of people's loneliness. Because there are countless AIs that exist right now. Countless models that exist for the sole purpose of trying to mitigate loneliness, replace trying to replace real life connections with artificial connections, with connections to just basically glorified captchas. And it makes me so sad every single time that I think about it. That people are just letting this happen somehow. To just let these big faceless companies profit off of lonely, desperate people. Because I know there are bad people. There's a lot of bad people, but I have a feeling that maybe if all of us were raised in somewhat similar conditions, we'd all be able to kind of understand each other better. Maybe we'd all be able to understand, like, mentally sick people who just have really big trouble understanding anyone, who are having trouble communicating with others. And I feel like these companies, they kind of profit of people staying lonely by creating these AIs. And I will, or I might not put an images of YouTube advertisements that I was getting about like thirsty AIs basically like talking all kinky and stuff on the main page of YouTube. And it's so disgusting that they are making money off of lonely people, of people who just can't find anyone. And it makes me sad because I am that kind of person. These products, quote unquote products, are being made for. And it makes me even more sad that there are people who just they have they have no choice but to use these products to actually stay afloat, because they just can't communicate to any actual person. They just cannot. And as I said, I'm 21 years old and I can't communicate with people that well. I'm having really big trouble understanding people, and people are having really big trouble understanding me. Because it sometimes feels like even even the best efforts I put into people are qualified or classified as others people's bare minimum. It sometimes feels like no matter what I do or say, people still will think that everything I do and everything I say is just for some sort of conspiracy theory, that I'm trying to get closer to them for social engineering or to steal something from them. Or to get something out of them. And I blame IT companies for all of this. Why? Because they collect our data and they sell that data to scamming companies. Those Indians who are like trying to tell you to not redeem and all that stuff, if you get what I mean. They probably got your phone number from Google. They probably got your phone number from Microsoft, from all over big IT giants, which are covering half of the world's traffic, half of the world's entire activity. And before internet ever existed, it used to be who controls the money controls like the world, but now it's more like who controls the information controls the world. Because you can be a completely non-profitable website, but you will have to pay like the bills for hosting, and you might want to like order a pizza every now and then. So you will might eventually go down to just collecting other people's data, right? And it's really profitable. It's the most profitable market on the planet right now. Just selling people's data. Just look how much money Microsoft and Google makes. I truly do believe that most money that they make it off of really lonely people. They created they created Gemini. They created all the other fucked up AIs just to try and appease you. Their models are legit made to basically suckle your nuts as much as possible to try and make you hooked and addicted. To try and mimic the real life connection, because it's so difficult to make a real life connection anymore. It's so difficult to make any connection, really. Not even just real life, but just even online. I sometimes just wanna message someone because I see their bio and I see like, oh, they like Terraria. Oh, I love Terraria. I love that game. I have been playing it for my whole life. I want to message that person. I want to talk to that person. I want to know who they are. But they will assume I'm social engineering. They will assume I'm a bot. They will start trolling me, saying like, "Oh, can you give me like a recipe for lasagna? Can you generate me an image or something like that?" And it hurts me that people that people assume that I'm just a bot, that I'm legit an artificial intelligence because of the way that I speak, or just because I DM'd them, because I direct messaged them. God, it feels so strange playing this game drunk. I very rarely get drunk in my life. It's the fifth time in my 20 years of life that I get drunk. The point I'm trying to make is it feels like we've all became really distrustful towards each other. That no matter what we say, people just assume the worst unless they match you like in a natural way. But for people like me who just can't meet people naturally, it's so difficult. It's so difficult to make a real connection. And whenever I see people who are like having connections, I'm so jealous of them. Because as I said, I'm usually a really negative person. I mean, I can look at my profile picture, like what the fuck is this? Like this is not even funny. My fucking nickname, my username, everything about me. I'm just pathetic. I'm pathetic as fuck. I might have forgotten what I was talking about so many times already. But it feels like people just became really distrustful towards each other. It feels like no matter what you say, people just immediately assume that you're saying anything or doing anything because you're trying to get something out of them. Because you're trying to like scam them, or get something out of them. Even when you don't, even when you try to give them the proof of that, when you try to buy them a game or just give something to try and prove that you just want to be friendly. And sometimes I try to leave that bubble of my loneliness, because I do suffer with being lonely. I very rarely show that I suffer with it when I'm sober. It only shows up when I'm fully drunk. I'm so drunk right now. I'm so drunk, man. I don't wanna play right now. I can barely aim. I feel like I'm letting my team down. The point I'm trying to make is the Valentine's Day. It made me really upset because everyone was ignoring me today. And I am already lonely. And I was kinda trying to make this day special for myself. Because I guess I'm selfish. I understand that people should have the time for themselves and stuff. But it feels like I do understand that it's no matter if it's Valentine's Day or not, people still just dismiss me at best, and at worst, they just hate me for being so lonely, for being so clingy sometimes, for wanting to talk to someone. And it makes me so scared of the future. And I know that considering the current how how currently it is right now, AI will probably fail because not as many people use AI as it probably could use. But the fact that it already uses some people is already scary because I do see myself as the type of person these AIs are created for. And I know that Valentine's Day have been like many other celebrations, like New Year's and Happy Birthdays, they've all been capitalized. It's no longer about just celebrating something and making a special day for someone, and more so about earning money and creating a really overpriced products for the same value, the same everything, but just twice as much price, stuff like that. I understand all of this, but when it comes to just legitimate loneliness, it makes me so sad that we were kinda, most of us, I assume most of the people of the world were dreaming that AI is not gonna be becoming a public toy because it is a toy. As of right now, AI is mostly used as a surveillance tool and as a toy for lonely people. I assume most of us, including me, were dreaming of the future where AI is used as a research tool for researchers and scientists to improve or increase decrease the time they need to research something. I understand that, but I think most of us wanted that to happen. I think most of us wanted to see the AI becoming the research tool, the medicine tool. I think most of us expected AI to turn out as something that is used for surgeries, for research, but it's used in the worst ways possible to to make the most desperate of us even more desperate and even pay money for being desperate. Mm. I feel like money is the true cause for most of the problems that we have currently in the world. Because, like, for example, there's so many people who are left completely alone in the world, homeless, and no one cares about them. There's so many lonely people, but so some of them try to cope with it and just move on, and some of them try to just instead become violent or even worse. I love this world. I really love this world. I want to love this world. Whenever I see space, whenever I see the sky, and especially whenever I see the moon, I think of how beautiful this world is. But whenever I look at my life on the surface level, on the social expectations level, I feel like life was the worst thing to ever happen to me. And to whoever is listening to that, to what I'm saying right now, if you are lonely, try to go for a risk. Try to risk your pride. Try to risk everything that you seem or feel to have. It will hurt. It will most definitely hurt, but it's way better than just hiding for the rest of your life like I did. I'm sorry for little pauses that I'm making. It's because I'm trying to not vomit all over my floor. So let me yet again try to recuperate or collect everything I tried to say. First of all, I feel like it's really vile that IT companies are trying to benefit off of our loneliness. Because I know I'm not the only one who is suffering for that. But people like me, we all usually, as soon as we get hurt, we try to cover ourselves in that iron armor to protect ourselves against any past traumatic experience that we ever had. I think all of us are trying to make to make sure that our past will not repeat itself way too much. I feel like that's the biggest mistake we all make. We need to go for a risk. We need to risk ourselves to try and bring some happiness into our lives. And I'm gonna be honest with all of you right now. I've been risking my quote unquote security for many years now. And the most it bringed me was that my friends just ignore me. Because currently, in my time, it's 10 p.m. It's not 10 a.m. I said this name because I said this time because I'm trying to keep up with the time of the friends I'm talking to usually. My current time is 10 p.m. and I'm gonna be honest, the most my risks brought me to was finding a few people who just tolerate my existence, but they don't necessarily call me, they don't necessarily add me into like parties to play games together or invite me into voice chats, voice calls. They don't invite me anywhere. But before that I was not able to find even that. And big IT companies, they're just making it even worse for the people like me because they try to hook all of us into their IT industry, into their AI slop, which is ruining this world, which is ruining the real connections we have with people, with this fucking glorified afterfeel. Basically, the main reason why I even recorded all of this is because get really confident and really because I get really drunk and really confident because of it. And because not a single friend that I know decided to text me today. But I do have to say that I don't know if anything will change in my life. I will say that my advice is probably not gonna work. Maybe it's because of me. Maybe it's because of how the world is. I prefer to blame myself for it. I get no real answers, no like true answers to any problems. But I do have to say that I feel like this world is becoming more and more lonely every single day that I spend in it. Because I am an orphan. I don't have parents. I don't have anyone to talk to. I don't have anyone to call whenever I feel sad. And even the parents that I had, they never wanted to listen to me. And better yet, they'd usually make fun of me. They'd usually mock me for being so lonely, bringing comparisons of how other kids are so social, how many friends they have, and I always had zero friends. Not a single person who would want to know me. I can talk about it next time I get drunk or something like that. But basically, it sucks that world becomes so accessible, yet it feels like it's becoming even more lonely than before. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only person who is struggling so much with the loneliness. Because all people I used to talk with regularly, they eventually just find people to hang out with. And it makes me feel like, was anything we ever did meant anything to them? Because they never talked to me ever again. They just ignored me. But I do see some of them still playing with their friends. Why won't they talk to me? Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I was never a good friend to begin with. I didn't think I ever had a real connection with someone. I'm gonna be real with all of you. I never even held anyone's hand, but I always wanted to. Because even in school, it was mostly considered to be a punishment to even sit next to me. And teachers used it as a way to punish our students. I don't know, man. Capitalism ruined most of the celebrations, most of everything this world has ever had. I believe that this world could be a lot more better if people just had a little bit more patience for everyone. If all of us will just listen to each other a little bit more. Because it's not even about sex or anything like that. I don't want to have sex. I just want someone to recognize that I exist. I just want someone to see that I exist, that I'm still there, that I have some sort of meaning, that I exist in their eyes, that they remember me. And I believe each and every single person on this planet feels like that. Sometimes, at least once in their life. So let's collect everything once again. Yeah, yet again, once again. I feel like capitalism ruined most of the celebrations we ever had. New Year's, birthdays, 30 February, many other celebrations. They're all ruined by capitalism. Because you don't get to celebrate if you don't have the money. I feel like capitalism ruined relationships because of really, really predatory schemes that IT companies have for collecting personal information about each and every single one of us and selling it to third parties. for nefarious reasons, just to make money. I feel like most of us stop listening to each other because of it. I feel like because of artificial intelligence, most people stop listening to each other because some people just think that nothing is real anymore, that it's like dead internet theory, that it's all that sort of stuff. It feels like internet and the world is becoming more and more lonely every single day. And I really wish I could be heard, I could be seen, I could be wanted, at least for once, in any celebration I usually have. Because even this New Year's I spent all alone, for example. And the last thing I wanna say to all of you who might be still listening, don't give up. As corny as it sounds, I know that sometimes just giving up sounds like the best option there is. But you gotta give it a try. I am yet to meet at least one person who never even once managed to find a friend. And if I had to count myself, then I guess I'm the only person I've ever met who never found anyone to care about me. So I want the very last thing I want to say to all of you is that I love all of you very, very much. I love every single person on this planet very, very much. I believe that with enough determination, with enough love, with enough understanding, any person could be redeemed before they commit to something bad. Before they commit to something bad. I wish people, instead of making fun of each other for the sake of having some social media clout, would actually listen to each other and love each other more. And some of you might just brush this video off as some emo goth guy yapping about his fucking loneliness for almost an hour and dismiss everything I said in this video, which is a fair point. I'm not gonna lie, it's a very fair point. But I still love every single one of you. I love every single person on this planet. I feel like that if we stopped just bullying each other, if we stopped competing against each other, we'd all be really, really, really happy in this world. There will always be a place under the sun for everyone. And we could all just love each other. And that's why I love every single one of you. No matter who you are behind the screen. If you're just a loser like me, if you're a successful person, if you're a normal person, If you're anyone, I believe any one of you could become a successful person in your own eyes. You don't have to become successful in the eyes of society because society is led by unrealistic expectations. Be whatever you want to be. Don't don't listen to any of them. To any of the people who think bad of what you want to be. There's so many people who will be against you. There will be so many people who will hate you. No matter what you do, no matter what you say. So just enjoy your time while you're here. In any way possible. Unless it's hurting someone. Don't hurt anyone. It will not make you feel better. I love every single one of you. May all of you at some point find love and find peace because because to this very day I can't find any love or any peace in my life, even right now. Good night, everyone. Good night, and please love each other, even if it feels like the person. Even if it feels like the person who you're talking to is really bad or despicable, try to show them love for prolonged periods of time. Try to show them compassion, try to show them understanding. Try to see them, try to see yourself in their boots. Try to feel for them. Maybe they will change. Maybe they won't be like that anymore. Maybe they will change at some point. So please don't hurt them. Even if your friends will force you or will ask you to do so, don't do that. Don't hurt anyone. We can all be happy together without hurting each other. We can all be happy. I wish all of you good night. Thanks to anyone who was listening to this. Thank you so much. And if there's a single fucking person who thinks I'm making some sort of money off of this video or anything like that, I can't even make money off of this video. I'm not making any views on this channel. I'm having below 1000 subscribers. I have 300 dead subscribers on which I've been stuck with for 2 years. And this is basically the first video of myself that I will ever release on this channel. Basically, the first video where I talk with my voice about my thoughts. And I will try to talk about my thoughts a lot more often from now on. Even if people will hate it. I just wanna... At best I want someone to stumble upon this channel and the videos I post here. And maybe not feel so misunderstood and so lonely as they previously felt.